If you think any of these phrases are correct, then you need to watch this video. In this video, I am going to show you 20 English phrases that you may be saying incorrectly. I will show you why these phrases are wrong, and I will show you how to say these phrases correctly. Make sure you watch until the end of the video, because many of these phrases you may be saying incorrectly and you don't even know it. Okay, let's look at the first phrase for today. The first incorrect phrase is, I'm study at university. This phrase is wrong because after I'm, we don't use verb 1. We don't say I'm eat or I'm work. This is grammatically incorrect. So to fix this phrase, we need to say I study at university. We don't need to say I'm. The next incorrect phrase is, I'm going to shopping. This phrase is incorrect because after going to, we don't use a verb ing. So to fix this sentence, we can say, I'm going shopping. But if you want to say going to, you can say, I'm going to the shops. This is correct. The next incorrect phrase is, how do you call this in English? This is incorrect because the word how means by what method. So if you say, how do you call this in English? You're asking by what method do you use to make the name of this thing. So to say this correctly, we need to say, what do you call this in English? We use what because we want to know the name. We don't want to know how it's done. We want to know the name of the thing. The next incorrect phrase is, where are you come from? This is incorrect because we don't use the words are you with verb 1. So to say this phrase correctly, we need to say, where are you from? But if you want to add the word come into your question, you can say, where do you come from? But most native speakers, when they ask this question, they will say, where are you from? This sounds more natural. The next incorrect phrase is, what is it mean? This is incorrect because after is it, we don't use verb 1. After is it, we normally use a noun, an adjective, or a verb ing. So to say this phrase correctly, we need to say, what does it mean? The next incorrect phrase is, I did not understood. This is incorrect because after did, we do not use a past tense verb or verb to. After did, we normally use verb 1. So to say this phrase correctly, we need to say, I did not understand. The next incorrect phrase is, please explain me. This is incorrect because if you say, please explain me to me, that means you want me to say something about you to you. So to fix this, we need to add a subject. For example, you could say, please explain this to me. Please explain that to me. But if you don't want to use a subject, you can just say, please explain. This is correct. The next incorrect phrase is, what your name? This phrase is incorrect because we don't have a verb. So to fix this, we simply need to add the verb is. So you need to say, what is your name? Or a shorter way to say this is by saying, what's your name? The next incorrect phrase is, my name, and then you say your name. For example, my name Shane. This is incorrect because again, we don't have a verb. So to fix this, we simply need to add the verb is. So for me, I would say, my name is Shane. And again, the shorter way to say it is by saying, my name's Shane. The 10th incorrect phrase is, Is it correct to say? This is incorrect because we don't have an object. If you say this to a native speaker, he will think, correct to say what? So to fix this, you need to add an object. For example, is it correct to say that? Is it correct to say this? Is it correct to say, I am hungry? You need to have an object. The next incorrect phrase is, I go to work by car. This phrase is incorrect because it sounds very unnatural and very strange. For example, if I asked a native speaker, how do you get to work? And he drives his car to work, he would say, I drive to work. I have never heard any native speaker say, I go to work by car. So to fix this, you need to say, I drive to work. But if somebody drives you to work, you can say, I have a driver. Or for example, if your mum drives you to work, you can say, my mum drives me to work. The next incorrect phrase is, I am work. This phrase is incorrect because you are not work. You are a person. After am, we don't use verb 1. Easy, right? So to fix this sentence, you can say, I am working, or you can say, I work. It depends on what you're trying to say. The next incorrect phrase is, I study at the university. This phrase is incorrect because normally when we use the word the person you are talking to knows what you're talking about. They know which thing you are talking about. But if you say to me, Shane, I study at the university, I don't know which university you study at. So to fix this, you need to say, I study at university. You don't need to say the. The next incorrect phrase is he from and then a country. For example, he from Brazil. This phrase is incorrect because we don't have a verb. So to fix this, we need to add in the verb is. For example, he is from Brazil. He is from Canada. He is from America. The next incorrect phrase is, does this the same as that? This phrase is incorrect because after does, we normally need to use a verb. But in this sentence, we are using does with the word same, and same is an adjective. When we use adjectives, we normally use adjectives with the verb to be. And in this sentence, we are talking about one thing, so we need to use the verb is. So the correct way to say this is by saying, is this the same as that? The next incorrect phrase is, I like to eat cakes many. This phrase is incorrect because many is a determiner. We normally use determiners before nouns. So to fix this sentence, we need to say, I like to eat many cakes. The next incorrect phrase is, does it right? This phrase is incorrect because we're using the word does with an adjective. We normally need to use the word does with verbs. So to fix this, we need to change the word does to the verb to be. So to fix this, we need to say, is it right? Is it right? The next incorrect phrase is, have two cars on the road. This phrase is incorrect because when we want to say something exists in the world or something is in the world, we normally use the phrases there is or there are. Another reason that this sentence is incorrect is because we normally don't start a sentence with have unless it's a question and unless it's an imperative. That means you're telling someone what to do. For example, let's pretend I want you to drink some water. I can say to you, have some water. So to fix this sentence, we need to say there are 2 cars on the road. If there was just 1 car, we could say there is a car on the road. The next incorrect phrase is I live at and then a country. For example, I live at England. This is incorrect because when we're talking about the country that we live in, we use the word in and not at. So this sentence should be I live in England. The last incorrect phrase is I don't know what is it. This phrase is incorrect because I don't know is a statement. What is it is a question. When you put a statement and a question together, it's like this. It doesn't go together. So to fix this, we need to have 2 statements. So we can say, I don't know what it is. These 2 statements go together and make a grammatically correct sentence. The first incorrect phrase is, I have a 12 years old child. This phrase is incorrect because we are using the phrase 12 years old to describe the child. It's like 12 years old is an adjective and it's describing the child. When we use a phrase like this to describe a noun, we don't need S. I understand that 12 is more than 1, and normally when you have more than 1 of something, you need an S, right? But when we're using a phrase like this to describe a noun, we don't need S. To correct this sentence, you need to say, I have a 12-year-old child. No S. The second incorrect phrase is, I looked at me in the mirror. This sentence is incorrect because the subject and the object are the same person. When we have a sentence where the person doing the action is also receiving the action, we need to use a reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are words like myself, yourself, and themselves. The reflexive pronoun for me is myself. To correct this sentence, we need to say, I looked at myself in the mirror. In simple words, use the word myself when you are doing something to you. The third incorrect sentence is, tell me what is the matter. This sentence is incorrect because we have a statement and we have a question in one sentence. Tell me is a statement. What is the matter is a question. Normally, when we have a question and a statement in the same sentence, it doesn't go together. It's like this. So to correct this sentence, we need to say, tell me what the matter is. Tell me is a statement, and what the matter is also a statement. These 2 phrases go together. The next incorrect sentence is, do you like the basketball? Which basketball? Normally when you use the word the, it means you are talking about something specific. Normally when you use the word the, it means you know which one and I know which one. But there is only one basketball. There is only one tennis. There is only one soccer. That's why when we're talking about sports, we normally don't use the word the. To correct this sentence, you can say, do you like basketball? No, the. The fifth incorrect phrase is, give me the informations. This sentence is incorrect because information is an uncountable noun. An uncountable noun is something that we cannot count in English. For example, we cannot say 1 information, 2 informations, 3 informations. This is incorrect. With uncountable nouns, we don't put an S at the end of the word, even if there is more than 1. To correct this sentence, we need to say, give me the information, no S. Another way you could say this is by saying, give me the pieces of information. The next incorrect phrase is, are you live in England? This phrase is incorrect because are is a form of the verb to be. Normally when we use the verb to be, we use it with nouns, adjectives, or verb INGs. But in this sentence, we have used are with live, which is a verb 1. Normally when we ask a question with verb 1, we need to use the words do or does. To correct this sentence, you need to say, do you live in England? The next incorrect sentence is, I don't have. If you say I don't have to a native speaker, they will think, don't have what? This is because have is a transitive verb. A transitive verb is a verb which needs to be used with an object. You need to say what you don't have. For example, I don't have it. I don't have a dog. I don't have any time. These sentences are all correct because we have used an object with the word have. We have said what we don't have. The next incorrect sentence is, it's a 3 years course. This sentence is incorrect because we are using the phrase 3 years to describe the course. When we use a phrase like this to describe a noun, we don't use s. Even if the number is plural, there is more than one, we still don't use s. To correct this sentence, you can say it's a 3-year course. No s. The next incorrect phrase is, I speak English good. It's funny because if someone says this, it shows that they don't speak English well because this sentence is incorrect. This sentence is incorrect because the word speak is a verb and the word good is an adjective. When we want to use a word to describe a verb, normally we need to use an adverb. Normally we cannot use adjectives to describe verbs. So what is the adverb for the word good? It's well. To correct this sentence, you need to say, I speak English well. I speak English well. The next incorrect sentence is, I eat already. This sentence is incorrect because eat is present and already is past. Present and past normally do not go together. To correct this sentence, there are several different ways. You could say, I've eaten already, or you could say, I already ate. The next incorrect phrase is, I don't have nothing to do. This sentence is incorrect because don't is a negative and nothing is a negative. Nothing means zero. Nothing means you don't have anything. So this sentence is saying, I don't have zero. If you have more than zero, that means you have something, right? That means you have something that you can do. If you want to say that you don't have any activities to do, you can say, I don't have anything to do, or you can say, I have nothing to do. The next incorrect sentence is, he is so loudly. What part of speech is loudly? Is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adverb? It's an adverb. This sentence is incorrect because we are using an adverb to describe he. He is a pronoun. He is a thing. When we want to describe a thing, we normally need to use an adjective. To correct this sentence, you can say, he is so loud, not loudly. The next incorrect sentence is, I'm come from England. This sentence is incorrect because after I'm, we don't use verb 1. I'm come? No. I'm eat? No. I'm sleep? No. To correct this sentence, you could say, I come from England. But a more native-like way to say this would be to just say, I'm from England. The next incorrect sentence is, I want. If you say I want to a native speaker, he will think want what? That's because want is a transitive verb. That means you need to use the word want with an object. To correct this sentence, you need to say what you want. For example, I want it. I want a mobile phone. I want a new car. These sentences are all correct because we have said what we want. The next incorrect sentence is, I am so boring. This sentence could be correct, but it's very unlikely that you would say this about yourself. That's because the word boring means not exciting and not interesting. So if you think that you are not exciting and not interesting, then you can say this about yourself. But if you are trying to say that you are not happy because you have no activities to do, you have nothing to do, then you need to use the word bored. There is a big difference between bored and boring. To correct this sentence, you need to say, I am so bored. This means you have nothing to do. The next incorrect sentence is, I am waiting you. This sentence is incorrect because we don't have a word to connect the waiting and you. We need a preposition to connect these two words. To correct this sentence, you can say, I am waiting for you. The next incorrect sentence is, I enjoy. If you say I enjoy to a native speaker, he will think, enjoy what? That's because enjoy is a transitive verb. That means you need to use enjoy with an object. You need to say what you enjoy. For example, I enjoy learning English. I enjoy going to school. I enjoy eating cakes. These three sentences are all correct because we have said what we enjoy. The next incorrect sentence is, are you speak English? This is incorrect because the word are is a form of the verb to be. We normally use the verb to be with nouns, adjectives, and verb ings. But in this sentence, we have used are with speak, and speak is a verb 1. When we make a question with verb 1, we normally need to use do or does. To correct this sentence, you can say, do you speak English? Or you can also say, can you speak English? Both are correct. The next incorrect phrase is, I want to learning English. This sentence is incorrect because after to, we normally don't use a verb ing. Easy, right? To correct this sentence, you need to say, I want to learn English. No ing. The next incorrect phrase is, it's not enough spicy. This sentence is incorrect because we are using the word enough to change an adjective. And when we use the word enough to change an adjective, we normally need to put enough after the adjective. To correct this sentence, you can say, it's not spicy enough.